All right, for this problem, there's two methods of solving. I could solve from here, or I could factor again. I'm always asking, can I factor? Should I solve? This is a solvable problem. I could go cosine squared of x equals 1/4, dividing both sides by 4. And then in the last problem, we talked about getting rid of squared, so square rooting. Okay, so cosine of x equals the square root of 1/4. And don't forget, you have to incorporate the positive and negative. And then when I do have square roots, as long as I remember that I can kind of break this up. So square root at the top and the square root at the bottom. And we know that the square root of 1 is just 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm looking for positive and negative 1/2. That's one method. Another method, which I like better, is I'm going to go ahead and move this 1 here to the other side by subtracting 1 from both sides. And then I get 4 cosine squared of x minus 1 equals 0. Now the reason I like this is something I can factor. Okay, this is the difference of two squares here. And I would get 2 cosine of x and 2 cosine of x. And it's got to be plus 1 and minus 1. And again, I check my outers and my inners. Okay, that's 2 cosine of x and negative 2 cosine of x. And you'll notice that's why there's no middle term here. So it factors correctly. Now, at this point, I'm making two equations. When does cosine of x plus 1 equal 0? And when does 2 cosine of x minus 1 equal 0? And each of these are two-step equations. Okay, on the left side, I would subtract 1 and divide by 2. And I get, I forgot the 0 here. I get when does cosine of x equal negative 1/2. On the right side, again, two-step equation. Add 1, divide by 2. And I get when does cosine of x equal positive 1/2. Now, the reason I like these a little bit better is just the fact that you never forget your positive and negative answer. Now it's all about the unit circle. So I'm going to go ahead and I notice that cosine is always in the first position, and I'm looking for a positive 1/2 or a negative 1/2. And I see them right here. So my answers are the angle measures that go with those. And final answer, again, one lap around the unit circle. I'm going to go in order starting at 0, going on a counterclockwise rotation. But technically, you could have these in any order, and you'd still be fine. And final answer.